NFL superstar, two-time Super Bowl champion, and Super Bowl MVP, and now Louisville wide receivers coach, Deion Branch. Welcome to Athlete Unscripted.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, obviously you are an incredible athlete, but I want to start off taking you way back. At what point did it click that, okay, football's my thing?
Yeah. I would probably say around, I know this is going to sound crazy, but probably 7, 8,
Okay.
9. You get what I'm saying? At a very early age, I think me having an opportunity just to play the game that I love around my peers and stuff, and just enjoying the game of football. And I think that was the beginning phase of it. I always tell people this the honest truth. I think I would have been a better soccer player than football player, but I chose the right path, which was football. We'll never know that, but I honestly believe that around the age of 7, 8, I think that, you know, my friends and I, we were pretty dominant on the football field at a very young age, and I think the more and more than you have so many individuals pouring into you, and I think that was the piece that kind of made me feel as if, you know, this is something for me. You know, my uncles, all the neighborhood friends, you know, just kind of seeing the things that I was doing out on the football field alongside with a bunch of my friends. But it was, I'll say, at an early age.
Who did you model your gameplay by? Who'd you look up to?
I'll say my early high school years, it was more Jacquez Green, who attended the University of Florida. He was the reason why I wanted to go to Florida. So Jacquez Green was the guy that I modeled my game after, I'll say 9th, 10th, 11th grade year. Once I got to college, it shifted, you know, to the guys, Ernest Gibbon, those guys, someone who attended this university way back in the days, who was playing with the Houston Oilers. So one of my favorite receivers growing up as well. You know, everybody know and understand Jerry Rice and Andre Rice and those guys. So yeah, that was me. I'll say in high school, Jacquez, and once I got into college, it was more the professionals.
You say that kids today have a very different outlook on the game of football. You say they play it because they enjoy it rather than trying to emulate, you know, a pro and how they play. How does that compare to your experience looking at what the game has turned into now?
And no disrespect to none of these young men. You know, I love talking that certain talk with them because they can relate to it. You know, and I tell them, hey, I think some of you guys just run around playing the game. You know, you really don't love the game of football. You know, loving the game is knowing the history. You know, I ask these guys about certain individuals and they can never recant that person's name.
Okay.
Nobody is, and you know, unfortunately, that's a piece of the adults issue as well. You know, it's our job to make sure we sit these kids down and actually put this stuff in front of them and talk this certain talk to them. I think a lot of these young men and women probably, you know, I can't say for other young ladies, but for sure these young guys in this building and other buildings across the country, I think they're just playing the game and not really understanding the rich history behind the game of football and knowing why we're actually able to play this game, you know, because these other guys in the past paved the way for us.
Yeah, that's really good, and I love your mindset when it comes to that, and kind of instilling this knowledge into your players and your team. So I absolutely love that. From the mindset to the influences, I want to move on and talk a little bit about your actual time playing. So we're gonna start off in New England with the Patriots. What was it like living in the city of Boston when you have the Celtics, the Patriots, and the Red Sox all winning championships?
And the Bruins.
Yes.
Yeah. It was amazing. I actually didn't live in Boston.
Okay.
I chose not to stay around all the nonsense, all the traffic. I disliked that to the utmost. But I was down in North Attleboro. My family and I was in North Attleboro, which was more of a quiet city, smaller city, very close to the facilities. I didn't want to actually be dealing with that nonsense in the morning and returning after practice. Just chose to stay nearby the facilities. That way I can get up and make sure I'm where I'm supposed to be each and every day without going through a hassle of traveling. But I love everything about the city, love everything about the state of Massachusetts, love everything about the organization in New England. Just love everything about the fan base. You know, those individuals are very spoiled, as they should be. I think we had the luxury to win a few Super Bowls, and I think that's what it is. That's the standard. That's the expectation there.
Obviously, you mentioned the Super Bowls. When you won Super Bowl MVP, I guess, over Tom Brady. I mean, even though he was the one throwing you the balls.
Correct.
Why did you get named MVP over him?
I say this jokingly. It is two parts to it. I think is Super Bowl 39 I had a good game, but I think Super Bowl 38 was probably a better game. But Tom also had a perfect game in Super Bowl 38. Winning that award is super amazing. I think as a player, growing up, the person who always get that award is the quarterbacks. So I think it's a given thing. We just need to go out and win the game.
Right.
Don't worry about who's going to get it. Tom will get the Super Bowl MVP. Let's
already
win
covered.
the game. That's covered, yeah. That part is covered. I think it's just all about going out, playing the game, giving everything that you have, and winning. I think that's our only mindset as players. What happens after that, the extra accolades, is just icing on the cake. I'm super blessed and honored just to be amongst those 50-some guys, because there are so many two-time winners as far as Super Bowl MVPs. So I think it's probably like 48, 49 guys, man, and just to be one of the few, man, it's a beautiful thing. It's a tremendous honor, and I love everything about it. But the most important piece is winning the game.
Definitely. Do you still talk to a lot of those guys?
Yes. Trust me, there's so much that goes into it. Winning the Super Bowl, there's so much work that's behind the scene. There's just so much stuff that goes into it. I always say this to these young men: in order to achieve something, you got to give up a lot. You have to give up a lot. And the fact that myself and all my teammates, we spent so much time together during those runs, you got to think about it. We were one of the teams it's only been 3 teams, I think. We were the second that tried to three-peat. And you got to think about the amount of time that we spent together for those 3 years. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, the relationships that you form with those individuals are lifelong relationships. Those things, they'll never go away. Amazing teammates, amazing coaches. You got to think about, for 3 years, we were around each other almost each and every day.
Wow.
For 8, 9 hours.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, bonded for life.
Yes, ma'am. You better believe it.
Yeah, and I'm sure you experienced winning the Super Bowl, highest of highs, but also lowest of lows. Yeah. There were some low moments as well. There was a documentary about the New England Patriots, the dynasty, one of the most watched documentaries about your team. How accurate did they portray that?
Oh, well, you got to think, it's a couple out there now. There's a couple documentaries, The one, I will say this right here, majority of the stuff was dead on, minus the pieces that I don't agree with some of the things that were said about Coach Belichick. But that's just my opinion. He's an honorable man, a straightforward coach. We love him as our coach, every guy on the team, regardless of the picture that they were trying to paint. You kind of get what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest, I was probably alongside a bunch of my teammates. Once I saw that the documentary was going left, I actually stopped watching it.
Wow.
So I didn't see the entire thing. As soon as I saw some of the things that were about Coach Belichick, then I'm like, no, that's not true. You get what I'm saying? I don't know why someone would paint that. That wasn't part of the production. I'll be the first to sit here and tell you that was not part of the production. But teach his own. I'll be one of the guys who will sit here and stand up for Coach Belichick. Super amazing guy, amazing coach. He's a old school coach. That's just what it is. You get what you get. And you get what you give as well.
He coached you for so many years, and you all have a relationship, and you know him.
Yes.
Who he is.
Correct.
So that's very understandable. You spent 8 years playing under Bill Belichick. He is now a coach in the same league that you're coaching in.
Correct.
What do you think about that?
That is interesting. And I spoke to Coach Belichick about it right before he actually took the job. We had a great conversation. It was quick, because he wanted to get off that topic. I mean, his thing is, me personally, Coach Belichick is a NFL coach, and that's just what it is. He belongs in the NFL. There's no way that you can tell me, out of 32 jobs, this guy doesn't belong in the NFL. That's the very first thing I will say. Secondly, him having the opportunity to come down to the collegiate level, I think it's amazing. I think it's great for these young men that attend that university. They will get to see what it's like to be coached by a true professional, a true pro, you know? So they're going to get these extra nuggets from Coach Belichick right now. And he'll be able to kind of depict which one of these guys are ready for that next level or not. Now, on the school side of things, on the collegiate side for Coach Belichick, this is going to be interesting. I mean, the rules are totally different. This is college. It's not the NFL. You know, there's a lot of things you can do in the NFL that you can't do in college. And I think that will be the eye opener for Coach Belichick. Those are some of the things that we laughed about during the conversation. But I took my hats off and congratulated Coach for, you know, even taking this opportunity to step down, to meet these young men head on at this level before he goes back. I'm marking that right now. He'll be back in the NFL. He will not be at North Carolina.
Mark your words.
Mark your words. You got to go back and watch season like this guy said.
He said it. He knew.
Yes.
He knew. Okay, so I want you to, for a second, just compare Coach Belichick and Coach Braum. I mean, how do they compare as coaches? Obviously, you said
yes,
Bill Belichick is a pro coach, and then you have Jeff Braum, who's obviously very successful at the collegiate level. But how do you compare them, having played under and then now working with?
Yeah.
How do they compare?
Yeah, and I think the thing is, the first thing that jumps out is this attention to detail. And that's the very first thing that I picked up from being coached by Coach Belichick and now working alongside with Coach Braum. You know, having the opportunity to sit and watch and see how Coach put this whole plan together and the attention to detail on everything that he's doing. You know, and I love that about him. I for sure love that about Coach Belichick. He was dead on, but that is one thing that truly jumps out for me about the comparison with Coach Belichick and Coach Braum. Both of these guys are very detailed about what they want, how things need to be, how it needs to look, and that is a proved testament to their success in everything that they've done throughout their career, whether it be Coach Braum on the collegiate level, coach on the NFL level. You know, it's still all the same. It's still the same. They attack this thing each and every day and trying to be the greatest.
That's great. And I think that you, having experienced life with so many different coaches, you've been able to take in a lot of different things and learn and kind of build your list of things that you can carry with you through life. Exactly what you're doing for these kids. In today's world, college athletics looks a lot different than it did. You have NIL, money, social media, mental health. What is the biggest difference that you see in the time that you were playing in college compared to now? What's been the biggest change involving all of that, and how do you adapt?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing that you did hit on, I'm all for these young men getting paid. I'm all for it. One thing that I would stand out and say, I wish it was a revenue sharing amongst each and every player on the team. And I understand you gotta pay your quarterbacks and all your top players X amount of dollars. That's understood. But I really, really, really wish that there was a revenue sharing amongst the teams. Now, as far as the difference between when I was playing and then, I think that back then, and no disrespect to these young men, as I alluded to earlier, as far as guys loving the game of football, we were playing the game just to get to that next level. And it was just all about doing everything we can, everything within our power and will each and every day to make it to that next level. I think there are some young men now who are just playing for the checks now. I don't think that next level is a thought, because this may be the end or the best that they can do. And as I said, I'm all for these young men receiving funds. I'm all for it. It's just the mindset of some of the guys. And I'm not saying nobody on our team. These are conversations that I've had with other guys. I want to believe that every guy in here has aspirations of making it to the next level, and they're showing that out on the football field, in my opinion. The conversations that I've had in there has been numerous conversations about guys now just chasing the check. Because see, now the issue that you're really, really having is this transfer thing. That is really where the problem is, because now each and every semester, I didn't say a year, each and every semester, guys are bolting. Those are the ones who are chasing money. They're starting to lose the perspective of the game and what you're supposed to be doing. You're a student athlete. not an athlete student. That's the difference.
Spot on.
There you go.
There you go.
So there's a lot of things that if they can really, really just change that transfer portal rule, then I think a lot of this stuff will actually shape up and start making sense.
Yeah, why does it open up twice?
I don't know. It's like, hey, just keep rolling it out there. And every semester you're a free agent. Mm-hmm. It's hard to sustain a team when you're doing that. Mm-hmm. It's very hard, especially when guys are out chasing funds. I get it. And some individuals use the transfer portal for the wrong thing and some do it the right way. Mm-hmm. Some guys deserve the right to go in the transfer portal and probably should. But there's others that are just doing it just because it's there. And that's not right for the game. It's just teaching bad habits right now.
How do you apply that mindset to coaching now, coaching these kids?
The coaching part, I think the beautiful thing for myself that I was blessed to spend 2.5 years as a director of player development. I had the opportunity to get to know these young men on and off the football field. I couldn't coach, so I was more so heavily involved with their off the field day-to-day routines, everything, and I feel like that's what made this coaching thing super seamless for me. It's just all about the relationships. At the end of the day, that's what it ends up in. It's about the relationship that you have with these guys or this entire team. That's what it is. You're just a mentor. I'm a leader. I'm a guider. That's my job. I'm the mentor. I'm the person that they look to for advice as the receiver coach. And any of those young guys in that locker room. I mean, I love each and every last one of them. My blood is in my sweat and tears is in that locker room as well. So I have that spot for these young men on the team. But in particular with my receivers, man, I just love having the opportunity each and every day to show up, to give these guys everything I have.
They might remember a big breakout play here or there, but what you're teaching them off the field is what they will truly carry with them for the rest of their lives.
That's the goal. That is the goal, and I promise Josh Hurd, I promise Coach Broughton, that's what I would do. I vowed that I would give these guys everything I have each and every day.
Okay, I have to ask.
Okay.
I hear you ride in a classic Chevy with 25-inch rims.
Oh, yeah.
What's the story behind this car?
I have a 1975 Chevy Caprice. Okay. We call them donks. All right. The story behind that is my father was a car salesman, way back in the day. Let him see this interview. He'll say I was everything. He's a Renaissance man. But he was a car salesman, and he purchased that same vehicle when I was in the 9th grade. Yeah, so he bought it to sell it, but I ended up going on the car lot one day, and I took the keys and drove the car off the lot and kept the car until he called it because he had sold it. So I always said to myself that I'm going to get this same car when I have the funds and I'm able to purchase that. So I end up buying it from some young gentleman had the same car for sale. I bought it. It's cool. Wow. Yeah, it's the best thing in my garage. It's the best thing in my garage, the 75 Caprice.
Wow, that's determination.
Yes.
Hunt down that same car.
I did.
Wow.
Yes, that's my ride. I love that vehicle. I love everything in the garage, but that's the car. I'll sell everything except that.
Wow.
I would not sell that car.
Well, you love the car, but outside of the garage, I know you love your kids as well.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure they look up to you so much. Do you think that they feel pressure with all the success that you had in your professional career?
I wouldn't say pressure, but I think they see in what the standard is. And I think that they have a individual bar themselves. I think what I pay for them is something that they look forward or look up to. I really hope that my kids don't have it, because I don't have that level of super, super duper high expectation because my parents never had it upon me, So I'm only just a spitting image of like what my parents and my family, hey, I want you to do what you want to do, but one thing what we're not doing, you start something, you're gonna finish it. We're not quitting, and you're gonna give your all. I don't care what it is. Just a quick example. I know one of my daughters, one of my girls, she was doing gymnastics and she was great at it, but it was more so she got to the point where she felt like, I don't want to do this no more. But I saw something in her that she just didn't feel no more. And I was pushing more for it. And it took my wife to tell me, like, Deion, that's not what she wants to do. It was more so that's what I wanted for my kid. You get what I'm saying? And I had to come to grips and allow my daughter to, okay, babe, what do you want to do though? She said, all right, I'll just go run track and I'll do this. And she was great at it and almost landed here, but she ended up going to Baylor. Doing acrobatic and tumbling. So
Wow.
yeah, and now she's a 2-time national champion and they're going for a 3-peat. So who knows, man?
Following in your footsteps.
Well, she's doing it. She's doing an
Wow.
amazing job. I mean, all my kids, I'm very blessed and thankful to have 4 amazing kids and an amazing wife who pretty much hold the fork down while I sit here and do this football thing. You get what I'm saying? And have been playing football my whole life, technically. Wow. You know, she's super amazing. So, but the kids know. I pray and hope that they don't feel any pressure. I really do, because I would never put that upon my kids.
Your inspiration in starting your foundation. Your son, DeAndre, was diagnosed with viral meningitis at a very young age. Share about that journey and your passion through that and how that changed your perspective of life.
Yeah, it changed everything. I mean, every day has always been since the day he was born, has been my inspiration. You know, he's my reason, my why. I always tell these young men in my room, especially on the entire team, you have to figure out what it is that triggers you. What's your why factor? And my why factor has always been my family, but in particular, my son, DeAndre. He was diagnosed with viral meningitis 6 days out of the hospital. To this day, he was only given 6 months to live, and he's 24. I mean, I don't know, what do you need? You know, I have no reason to wake up feeling sad about anything, being pissed off about anything. When my kid has a condition where he can't play with his siblings, he can't do anything. Only thing he does is just light up the room with his smile. And that's enough for me. You know, the fact that I still had that peace in my life. It also let me know, hey, Deion, you can't take anything for granted. You're very blessed, you're very thankful. And not only is your son in that position, that situation, God won't put too much on your plate that you can't handle. And also there's a mission out there for you. There's a message that you need to relay to others. So that's why I started the Deion Branch Foundation, to help those family members in the same scenario that my son. And I also deal with badly abused women through my foundation as well.
I love that you're using your platform for good and sharing stories about other people and just advocating for a cause that you are passionate about and have lived through. So I love that. Well, Deion, you have an amazing story, a very admirable life, just the way you live your life. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming on Athlete Unscripted, and it has been such an honor to have you.
Yes, ma'am. Anytime. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Athlete Unscripted. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an exclusive episode and you stay in the know on all things athletics. I'll see you next time.